Subscribe right now because what you're about to hear isn't just tea, it's the full boiling pot spilling over as Cardi B finally steps out of the shadows and into the spotlight to expose the deepest betrayal she's ever faced. Not just from Offset, her husband, the father of her children, but from Ice Spice, a rapper she once uplifted, praised, and welcomed into her world, only to be stabbed in the back in the most humiliating and public way possible. And this isn't just another cheating scandal. This is the unraveling of an empire. A story of power, manipulation, and emotional warfare told in real time, as one of hip-hop's most iconic couples falls apart while the world watches and a rising star finds herself caught in the wreckage because it started as whispers. Offset and Ice Spice seen together in studios, backstage at events, liking each other's posts, sending cryptic messages in lyrics. But Cardi always gave the benefit of the doubt, thinking Ice was just another fan-turned-friend trying to make her way in the industry, not realizing she was also positioning herself as the next queen in the very throne Cardi built brick by brick with blood, sweat, and betrayal. And when rumors first surfaced, Cardi brushed them off, chalking it up to clout-chasing fans with too much time and too many fake receipts. But when Offset started coming, home late, hiding his phone, flinching every time it buzzed, Cardi's intuition kicked in. And if there's one thing we know about Cardi B, it's that her gut never lies. And instead of confronting him head-on before, she did what every woman who's been hurt too many times learns to do. She waited, she watched, and she started collecting everything. Screenshots, timestamps, flight logs, and even hiring a private investigator who confirmed what she already knew in her heart. That Offset wasn't just being unfaithful. He was building something new with someone Cardi once called family, and that someone was Ice. And the timeline is messier than anyone expected because it turns out Offset had been grooming Ice with compliments, features, and just business meetings long before the public saw anything, planting seeds of doubt in Cardi's mind while feeding Ice dreams of being the next Bonnie to his Clyde, and Ice caught up in the attention, the lifestyle. The idea of being chosen over the very woman she idolized played right into it, thinking she was special, not realizing she was just the latest in a long line of women. Offset used to feel powerful, and when Cardi confronted him with the receipts, he didn't deny it. Instead, he deflected, blamed her for working too much, said she was emotionally unavailable, that Ice understood him. And those words broke something inside Cardi because after everything, after forgiving him for cheating with bartenders, after defending him in court, after raising his kids and shielding him from backlash, he still had the audacity to act like his betrayal was her fault. And Ice? Ice tried to play it cute, posting subtweets and TikToks with lines like, "You could never take my place," thinking she was winning while Cardi was quietly plotting the most iconic takedown in modern music history, starting with a series of cryptic Instagram lives where she spoke about betrayal, snakes, and fake friends, while Offset tried to do damage control by posting old videos of their family, and Ice started wearing clothes Cardi had worn in past performances like it was a game. But Cardi doesn't play when it comes to her heart, and when she dropped her first diss track aimed at them both, the internet exploded, especially when fans noticed that Ice's birth date was hidden in the track's timecode and Offset's stage name was scrambled into the beat's waveform, and from there, things spiraled. Offset unfollowed Cardi. Ice posted a now-deleted story of her in a private jet with a man wearing Offset's exact watch. Cardi's sister Hennessy tweeted, "And deleted 'You play with fire, you get torched," and fans began taking sides, with some defending Cardi as a woman scorned and others calling her bitter. But they didn't see the full picture, didn't understand the years of gaslighting, the tears behind the glam, the fact that Cardi had tried to leave multiple times, only to be pulled back in by Offset's false promises and grand gestures. And now she was finally ready to burn it all down. And when Cardi went on IG Live and said, "I birthed 2 of his kids and gave him 10 of my prime years. He gave me embarrassment," and Ice jaws dropped because she wasn't just speaking her truth. She was freeing herself in front of the world. And the media frenzy that followed was nuclear. Talk shows, podcasts, blogs, even news outlets picked up the story, dissecting every paparazzi shot. And meanwhile, Offset tried to pivot, appearing in interviews where he claimed Cardi knew what it was, and I ain't the villain they painting me to be. But fans had receipts, old DMs, leaked texts from Ice to her friends, bragging about being in Offset's hotel room, even a blurry but undeniable video of the two entering a Miami club hand in hand months before Cardi even suspected anything. And Ice's team tried to spin it, saying she and Offset were working on a joint project, but no studio footage ever surfaced. And Cardi? She didn't need to respond. She let the silence speak volumes until she dropped her second diss, a 10-minute track called "Wife to the Wreck," where she laid out everything from Offset's patterns of cheating to Ice's fake innocence, rapping lines like, She wore my dress, tried to walk in my shoes, but baby, betrayal don't come with red bottoms. And the internet couldn't get enough. With fans playing detective and pulling up old clips of Cardi praising Ice and calling it the calm before the betrayal. And things only escalated when Cardi released a short film to go with the track, showing a fictionalized version of herself being replaced by a clone who slowly takes over her life while the real her screams silently from behind glass. A metaphor so powerful that it trended for a week straight. And as Ice's fan base started to crack, questioning her loyalty, her ethics, her rise, Offset doubled down, dropping a cryptic post saying, "Real ones don't fold under pressure." But by then, no one cared because Cardi had already won the war, not just in the court of public opinion, but in reclaiming her story, her dignity, and her peace. And when she went on The Breakfast Club and said, "I don't hate her, I pity her," even Charlemagne looked shook, because that's when you know a woman has truly healed, when she can look at the people who tried to destroy her and feel nothing but silence. And the fallout was brutal. Offset lost brand deals, Ice's label pushed her album back. Cardi went on to launch a fashion collab and a skincare line while also announcing a book deal. And fans everywhere took notes because she didn't just survive a public breakup. She flipped it into a career reset, and by the time she dropped her third and final track in the saga, No Return, Cardi had moved on, Offset had gone quiet, and Ice? She was still trying to recover from the backlash, still trying to figure out how the girl who once cheered Cardi from the sidelines became the punchline of her most savage lyrics. And in the end, Cardi said it best in an interview with Vogue. "I ain't bitter, I'm better." And with that, she walked away from the ashes of a relationship that never deserved her, and into a legacy that no betrayal could touch. So if you're still here, hit that subscribe button because trust me, this story isn't over, it's just the beginning.